I want to change this one. We're going to call this Ali Chat. It's probably going to throw me out, but that's okay. This one we'll call Ali Chat Callback. I need this over here. And I want to bring in the client secret. So this is the client ID, and then we need to bring in the client secret. Okay, and so now when I'm over here inside of Ali Chat, the identity server, and we are doing my startup, instead of down here using my pass string assign in Twitch, instead of using this, we're going to use my, and I have something called constants dot, and it should be called my Twitch. Sorry, it's got the wrong constants in here, which is okay. Let me come back over here real quick. I want to make sure that this is actually going inside of my app settings. So if I look here, no, this is fine. I want to grab my, just a second here, let me pull this over. I need to go into the identity server here in my core and make a connection over to that constants, right? So we can do that. We need to go to add a new reference to my projects called PHS core. I think we just called it constants. That's okay. It's this one. Okay, we want this to be of type PHS dot core dot. This is called my when I look back over here at my constants class that I just made, let me pull it over. I want to make sure that this is in the right namespace, which is called phs.core.constants. Perfect. And so now I can show this again. And so what I want to do is I'm going to add in here my, I think you have something called like a Twitch client auth client ID, and then you also want to get that one for the password. And then we have all this fine. So when you configure this, you don't need to have this chat password and this. All you need is your access token. And you're going to authorize this as Twitch. This is going to be an issuer, I believe, anyways. Okay, so let's go ahead and double check that that works. Pull in my app again, and let's run it. So we have to run the MVC and also our identity server. So let's do the MVC first. Okay, here's the uploading. Okay. I didn't submit this, just a second. Okay, so we got all that set up. And so now I can close the Twitch developer panel. I need to adjust my constants real quick here. Just 1 second. So here inside of my constants, I want to adjust my client secret here, which changed. Did it change, or did I change the other one? We'll find out in just a moment. Let me run it again. Okay, when we click login, I think it's going to fail because it wants to actually have a reference over here to my identity server. So let's run that. Still loading, just a second. Okay, let me try this again. I'm going to try to run the identity server just by itself so I can make sure that it's running. Okay. Let's run the identity server here. Here it is. Interesting. So is it running? Because that's really strange that it didn't tell me that the client ID must be provided. Oh, so I have a problem in my identity server. That's why it didn't work. My identity server has a client that's built into it as well, which is down here. Interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Inside of this, it's when I do my startup. You have something in here that's referencing my ID, this one. It says that this doesn't have a client ID when it's starting here. So in this one, do I have anything in here that looks like a configuration manager? Yeah, right here. So this needs to be my constants.discord core.constants.discord auth client ID. And this needs to be the same. And then we need to do the same probably for the Google one. Google auth client ID. And then we probably also want to do my Google auth client secret. Okay. Finally, I think we have this one, which is called my live edu client ID, and then also my live edu client secret. All right, let's go ahead and check it. And then we're going to run it. All right, let's run it. I don't know what I just clicked. Okay, it launched. Let me grab it. Okay, so here's the identity server. When we try to log in, it looks like that I'm already able to log in at the moment. So I should be able to come over here to my account. And it's under account. Maybe it's under home. Yeah, so now when I go to it, it's going to ask me to log in. And I should be able to go ahead and grab my Twitch. Now it says that this is denied. So why is that? Just a moment. So when I look back over here at Twitch, I need to make sure that I'm passing in this sign in Twitch, right? And then I'm using the right credentials on this, so just a moment. We could put in game drops as well now. We should do that. So this one is this identity sign in Twitch. We've got that. Let me generate the new secret. And then we'll submit it. Let me add it to the constants. So that should be working just fine now. Let's try it again. All right. That's a little funny, right? I wonder what that's all about. Wow, looks like I have a bootstrap problem. Okay, so if I go to login here, it's probably going to launch this thing. Oh, I have to actually launch an instance. Nope, here it is. We can try Twitch. Access is denied. Why would this be doing this right now? Just a moment. Because I had this working, so I might need to go back to revision control. That's actually not a bad place to be. One more second. Okay, let's try it one more time. And we're going to run the whole thing here. So let me try the identity server. right, so if this fails, we're going to go back to revision control, and we'll just get this thing going. Here we go, about. Twitch. So we're just going to turn off these other ones for just a minute. And maybe I need to try this without cookies. So we can just select these ones here. And then we want to look in here and we can disable these. Let's try it again. Maybe it takes a minute to update. Maybe it's because I have a cookie running on this thing. We want this one. There we go. But this is why we have revision control. Let's try this in a new window. There we go. So let me go ahead and log in here. I'm not doing me, I'm doing oh, but it tells me that my external callback is wrong. So that's because this says that I have Twitch all in lowercase with no slash, and this says sign in Twitch. That is so interesting. Okay. So let's go ahead and close this. We'll go to get extensions. We're going to go reset our changes. And go back again. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get our authorization server, our identity. What we're going to do is we're going to get the MVC application up so that we can register our accounts and get our Auth token. So let me go ahead and grab my new credentials for this app. Just 1 second. Okay, I got that. Put that in there. Let's go ahead and bring it back and run the identity server. One thing I wanted to check was in my startup, where this thing is Auth, OAuth, connect, authentication options. It's going to be requesting OpenID profile and roles on this application. That's going to be what it allows. That's for the PHS website. We don't care about that one. And down here under my Twitch, it's going to be sign in Twitch. That's fine. It tells me that it can't find this certificate now. Just a moment. Let me add the certificate again. Huh, it really didn't add that certificate back. That's okay. So we can just get another one of those really quick. So we can do my identity server 3. And then we can go get our documentation. We can look at our documentation and we can look at how we create it. And then there's a link here. And the one we want is this one. We can download it. I think I already have a copy of it. And I do, so let's grab that copy because it's almost for sure the same one that I already have imported. And then I should be able to come in here and open this project and paste it. And now I think we should be okay. Let's try it again. We said this is my default project. We'll run it. How are you guys doing out there? Cool. And it logged me in. So whatever. We'll just leave it that way. So that's working fine. So now we can try it with the MVC, I think, right? Oh, one thing that I have to change is that this, inside of my identity server, this thing has to have a different, it's a always copy. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so now what I should do is check this to my default and we can run it. Okay, when we click login, interesting, it's not redirecting me successfully. Is it because it's not running? No, it's running. So if I was to home logout, now I try it again. And then we do a Twitch login. It authorized me, and we're inside of the site. So now I can look over here at Ali Chat, and I should see something that says providers. So let's fix this. So over here now in my web API, which I had written. I want to take a look at how I'm starting this thing. Right now I'm doing something with this BLL or something, right? Interesting. Start Unity here. This is where I'm registering my components. PHS user manager, PHS user store, role. I don't think we're doing anything with roles. And also this DB context. Role manager. That's found in my auth contexts. Yeah, I don't need that one, and I don't need that one. We are going to need these two contexts, right? What's in Twitch credentials? Client ID and something called the client credentials, okay? So under Ali Chat Twitch, I think you had something here called, you are looking at providers, right? And so providers is asking for this data access layer services Ali Chat. So this should be fine. Let's go ahead and run the web API and make sure everything's working. Here it is. It's going to say no. And then we do a localhost, right? I'm sorry, it's called a Swagger. So now we can look at providers and we should be able to do a get all. Take a look. Internal server error. So let's find out what's going on with providers. So it's unhappy with my unit of work for providers because is that in my database? Interesting. Okay, so we need to update this database. That's what the problem is. Let me go ahead and delete everything. And now I believe I have a couple of these migrations that I want to run on identity servers. So let me first take a look at my web config and make sure that I have that thing set the way I want before I run this. I want to make sure that my connection string is correct. So that one is putting this into my PHS auth. That looks good. Let's go ahead and run that. I believe there are 3 migrations for this, which I have here on the desktop. So the first one is we want to do a actually I have a website link that I think is better for this. You know I saved it. Is it this one? I think it's this one. This one. Let me go ahead and move this where it belongs. Okay, so this one I have these 3 enable migration patterns, right? And I'm going to go ahead and just add these up here to my, I think you have a like find and replace that should be in your Word. So you should be able to go to Microsoft Word, create a new one. We'll do this. Remind me later. Yeah. No, I just updated my policies. Okay. Now this is my migrations directory. So we want to change this, and we're going to look for migrations, and we want to change this to my PHS dot identity server. Just like that. And now we can replace all. And then also we're going to have our ID SVR3 config, and that's going to be called default connection. Okay, we should be able just to copy and paste these now into NuGet. Oh, I just have a little thing here. Do you see it? What the hell? I want to go back to the link. Oh, you're a moron. You're a moron. Let me put this in here. See how this says migrations directory like that? This one is my PHS dot identity server, right? Maybe I don't even need that. I think I can just leave that as migrations, right? So the only thing I have to change is actually the default connection. Is that what I was doing wrong before? Let's try it. Looks like it. All right, so we'll grab this entire line. Okay, we need to run this one. Migrations have already been enabled, so am I ready actually to go? I think I can just run them, right? These are the ones that I have to change. So we want to change these ones. See this? This is actually going to be PHS dot identity server dot migrations dot client configuration, and this will be default connection. And then we want to change this identity server to be here. Come back over into this and let's run them. There's the first one. That's one. Okay, the next one is this one. So the one that worked was client configuration. The second one that worked was scope configuration. The last one that'll work is my operational data configuration. And then we also have the one for the users. Now we can see all of my different, everything is made. So now when I run the web API, and I look at Swagger, and I hit my providers, now it's probably going to work. No? Did it do an error catch and response? Or is it still thinking about it? No, it gave me a catch. So I didn't update this database, and that's in my web API. So this one, you have to select this as a startup project. I need to check the web config on it. This one just goes into PHS. That's fine. Let's go ahead and check it and run this. This one is actually on the domain, if you recall. We'll run it. Everything went through successfully, almost. Could probably get rid of this Auth server. Okay, everything looks good. Let's run it and check it. And there we go. So everything went in okay. So now I'm ready to, on top of that, we want to run the MVC. Okay, I'm logged in already, which is nice. I wonder if the other one is working. I can actually just, I hooked this up. It looks like my identity server is not running. I probably want to kick this out to my IIS. No, it's working right now, so we'll be ready for it. So it looks like everything is running, which is nice. I need to put in a URL callback, it looks like, for this website. Should ask me to log in. Now this one is telling me that 3003 does not have the correct credentials. Just a moment. But that cannot be correct because I was just doing this. So I have a problem in the seed. If I look down in the identity server, I have context and migrations in here. And if I look at my configuration, that's adding my admin user. This is adding my clients. 3001 is the identity server. 3002 is the website with client credentials. 3003 is an implicit with scope, PHS MVC, with a client URL, a redirect URL, and a post logout. Logout session required is false. I wonder if there's another one on here that does like a auto redirect, whatever, okay? And then you have one down here that does your chat user. This one also needs to have OpenID. When this is starting, when I look at configure Twitch, that looks fine. And then when I look at the configure identity server, I'm in the wrong one. When I'm in my MVC and I'm looking at my startup, 3003, OpenID profile and roles, but you didn't see all of those, right? Under your configuration, you have PHS MVC, so I feel like this one should be OpenID profile and roles. Okay. The redirect URL has a slash in my startup, and in my migration it has a MVC client. Interesting. I don't think you need all this stuff anymore. But that wasn't what I was looking for. I wanted to see where it was in the identity server. Here in the configuration, yeah, that looks pretty good. If I look over here at my controllers and my MVC, you should have something called auth callback and auth. That's fine. So let's go ahead and update that. I need to get rid of this one. It should cascade, right? So if I come back over here, I should be able to just delete this record. If I look at my clients inside of this, let me close that, let me close that. I want to look inside here of the auth, and I want to look at the clients. And it should cascade delete down, so we can delete my 3003. Let's go ahead and rerun it. Forgot to put it in the right project and also on the right project. All right, let's run it. I want to do the MVC and the identity server right now. The identity server I'm about to put out on IIS. It seems kind of like a lot to run all in instances. It seems to sometimes have read-write problems. We'll find out if this is one of them. It does not look like it. Maybe I have 2 instances of it running. That's a mistake. Let me add this here as my startup project now. And we want to add the identity server. When we log in, it's going to kick me over. It's going to ask me to log in. Because it had to ask me, are you a Pixel Horror Studios website user? I am. It connects me, it auths me, it lets me on. Now let's go ahead and launch our web API resource. And when we look at the Swagger, we can see that we have the providers right here. And when we get them, we get a value of OK. So now when I look over here in providers and I get this await get client async, it's telling me that my bearer token was never found. And that's correct. So I want to stop everything. We're going to kick now my my web API. We want to look at the controllers for providers, and we're going to remove the, on your base controller, you have something called your DAL service. I don't see where it's happening, where you're getting your BLL auth. It's actually not there, it's in the MVC. So the MVC now in my startup, right, it has something in the app start in Bootstrapper that creates this BLL. We can dump all this, right? And that means that over here in my providers, which is in an area alley chat controllers called providers, I should be able to scrap BLL auth there. In my base controller, I should be able to scrap BLL auth. And so here in index, when I do this get, I should be able to get rid of that. So currently all of these things are asking for access tokens. I think it might be easier just to turn off that for the moment, and then we can integrate in our identity server into the web API. unless this is something that we want to do right now. Well, many times you're going to be sending these access tokens coming from the user. So we probably want to make it then that when you receive an access token. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look over then at the Identity Server 3 documentation. We want to look here. Let's go all the way to the bottom. We're going to add and call the web API, so we need to run these two on my web API. Okay. We want to add this, apparently. I think I already have this in the web API, right? A custom startup. I do. Then we need to add in this access token validation. We want to add in the pipeline. This. When we look at configure auth, all right, here. I want to look at configure auth. It says that it can't navigate to it. Did I get rid of that? Yeah, we can get rid of this. My authority here was at the I think it's called like localhost https://localhost. Which one is it? I don't remember. It's got to be this one, 44338. And then this thing is going to be called my phs_web API. So over here now, we need to add in my scope for here inside of my scope config in the identity server. You have a ma right here. You can add in here a new scope claim, it looks like. You called this one your phs_web API, right? Enabled equals true. Move this over here for just a second. I got that. Display name is a that. I got a sample name. We have a like that, and it's a resource. And then we add it. Oh, you never add it to the context? No wonder. Why don't I have reference to this? like that. And then also you're going to need to do that here. Cool. And then finally, that looks good. And then we need to register this in the clients. That is here. 3004, 3005, right? And this one's going to be called my web API. And we'll just give it that secret for now. It has OpenID and profile. I don't know. Let me see what it wants me to add here. Client ID. It wants me to say that this is client credentials. Like that, right? It wants me to allow the scope of this one and this one. It mostly wants me to do this one. We don't care about the redirects. And this one is a 5. Okay. Now we need to call we need to install this one. This thing is telling me that I need to have a get token under controller. So I should be able to, over here under my PHS Web API resource, I believe I already have something called a base controller. So I can just do this. What happened? It wants me to identity server access token validation has a certain range. So let me come into my manage NuGet package. I want to look at my installed. It's called identity server 3 access token validation, and it wants me to drop my version to 1.92 greater than 1.92 and less than 2.0. Great. Identity model 2.0. So this needs to be 1.92 up, but it has to be less than, so it's this one. Interesting. It also wants to do this okay, this is how it wants me to use my token. Tokens being passed in at string API, web API. So that's fine. Let's go ahead and drop this version. I guess we can stop this real quick because I wanted to make sure. So identity model needs to be 1.9.2, right? So now when we want to call it, it just tells me that I use this client.bearer token with the token that I'm passing in. And this is where you get your token async, and then you call your web API. Easy enough. Okay. So this, I should be able to use my identity token, and this is a task. So this wants to have my identity here, right? Which is, in our case, I think I put this back over in the right there, right? And now this thing was my phs_web API and secret. And then we want to request client credentials here. And the one that we want to return is called my client ID, sorry. And that was 3005 if I recall correctly. .3005. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, this is probably supposed to go over in the core, right? So if I take this out and I move this over here into my core client services, I have something here called the base client services. And in this, I have these basic functions, just my gets, my HTTP calls. We should be able to dump this in here. We need to add now to this one. Where did my little thing go that I've been reading? This one. This actually goes here in my, well, we could actually install this, right? That's fine. We want to, in the core client services, we want to install it. And we should be able to add it. And now you should always be able to get a token anytime you need one, right? So in our case, we're doing a get. So we could probably get rid of this. And now what it tells me to do is, instead of doing it that way, it wanted me to do this get token async here. And now down here, it wanted me to do a client.set bearer token. And then we'll do this get string. Okay, let's give that a try. So now what I want to do is I'm going to launch the identity server. Oh, I need to run my migration updates. So we had two, right? One of them was on the scopes, and one of them was on the client configuration. So there's client configuration. So this one no longer requires an access token and no longer requires an access token. Probably the same thing here. And then also your create. Well, you'll stop right there for a moment. My Twitch controller, this thing wants me to return this bearer token. That's not a thing. And there's no BLL auth anymore. Okay. Any of the gets I'm changing right now, but not the other ones, okay? This thing is telling me that in my create now, it wants me to send this thing. It doesn't exist. Same thing here, probably, right? This thing create user Twitch. This thing is still going to want my access tokens. So we need to remove the access tokens for everything here. Just a moment. So now in this, let's go ahead and give it a clean, see what we get. Hey there, Now Styles. How are you doing today? It's good to see you, man. I got the chat tokens coming in. I've got the authorization tokens coming in. They're running on separate applications, so that way we're not having conflicting tokens. And now I'm changing my web API so that it's being able to get hit by, and the authorization is still using that identity server. Yep, I'm waking up still too. Here we go. We got to remove all of these things, right? All of these access tokens. Maybe I could just go like this. I want to, in my current project, look for anything that says that, and then we're just going to get rid of it. Let's clean it. Let's build it. I'm going to get a bunch of errors still. Yeah, right. Let's go ahead and come out of the MVC for a moment. We're going to unload that. Let's try to rebuild it. I think there's a problem here with the error list. Because if it's unloaded, then I probably just need to reload the project. So let's close it. Let's reload it. Let's try to build everything. It's going to give me some errors here on my basics, right? In client services, because on this, you have to add in this all over the place. So let's just do that here. This thing doesn't have an access token on it, right? It goes right here. Also here on your delete, also here, there, and then right on there. Then we need to come up here to this, and that looks fine. Let's build it. I have to keep working on my project in a second. Super tired that I work late. I'm doing all slicing for it. What should I do? My girlfriend didn't close the back door strong enough and came home to the back door wide open. Well, I don't ever believe in punitive things. Maybe there's incentives. I don't ever try to come across too close. But you make sure to put a deadbolt in. Maybe put in, I mean, as a programmer, instead of blaming the user for the interface and having found a bug, there's probably a solution out there that you can put in place that will mediate it but won't cause problems. We have one man. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming I think I know what that means though. Let's go ahead and fix these. We could save some time here by just doing the same thing, comma space access token in this current project. Comma space string access token. Comma string access token. So it does not like doing that for me. That's fine. We have a deadbolt on every door. You know, where I live, there's been some crime with people just kind of walking in the front doors. So definitely, that's one way to look at it. So for safety, you know. One, two, three. Almost done. And now in the client services auth, you probably need to remove the access tokens here. Almost done. That looks fine. It says that the one that it's not implementing is create. Mapper says that this is hides the inherited. So let me close this up. Access token there. Access token here. Access token here. Access token here. Scope is a .to entity. access token goes away. Let's go ahead and build it. New rule just got made. She has to deadbolt the door every time, no matter what. How many times she goes in and out. Aww. So are you removing the access token? Something about having two. What I'm doing is that I'm having it so that you have to pass in the access token when this is created. The URL, so to say, with the credentials. So that way we can set it up so that instead of me having to create and pass the token each time, we're going to be able to use this one call that's going to be making and grabbing your tokens and managing it for you. It makes it easier on client-side applications that are using these BLLs. So that's working. Still tells me no metadata found for these, right? So I think we can probably do this old trick where we do like a... This is inside of my Alley chat, right? So over here we should be able to come into the Alley chat module and unload everything or reload everything depending on what's been unloaded, and we'll rebuild. Yeah, we have two active tokens, one for chat and then one for auth. Okay, everything built. It looks like the only thing it tells me is my BLL auth DLL, PHS, BLL, auth. Could not be found in PHS Alley chat. Which one? Oh, it's this one. This project is telling me that it can't find this reference, which is fine. Take that out. And now we're good to go. Let's go ahead and reload this project. Wonderful .NET issues. No, just trying to fix it, clean it up. Probably get a couple of errors here within the MVC and Web API. Just a moment. Okay, this says that it doesn't have a constructor that takes two arguments. That's fine, you don't. BLL auth doesn't exist. That looks right. Now we can close everything up. I need to run this client configuration and the scope configuration. When VS is loading like that, it crashes a lot. Yeah, I still have to do work in 08. I do work on Windows CE devices, which is really annoying, and 08 makes me want to rip out my eyes more than anything in the world. That white screen, oh my god. Okay, so we're good. That, it's not installed on core, so it needs to be on the identity. Where is identity? PHS identity server, I don't even see it. Yeah, 8 makes me scream. It's the white screen that I can't pull the windows out and put them on different monitors. I only get that one little... Oh. Okay. I think we're good to give it a try now. Oh, I need to do the... scopes too. Okay, let's give it a run. And then also we want to run this one. I know, man. My dad is It's getting close. I wonder how John, the Good Idea Company's doing. You know, he's out that way too. All right, so let's check it. No connection could be made because the target actively refused it. Let's try it again. So it looks like that I need to have the identity server running first. Yeah, you're in an evacuation zone right now. Are you out in Florida? You must be. Okay, so this is telling me that it's actively refusing to start it because it's not running. It's on the wrong port, 44330. And that means that also on my client services, so my base in the core, you need to change this to 11440. Pardon me. John, you're out there? I didn't even know you were in the channel, man. I had no idea. I've been so worried. How are you? Where are you? Are you in the middle of it? My dad too, man. Let's check it. I need to run the web API. Oh my god, dude. Why aren't you driving? I know Shanna offered to fly you out. Why didn't you take that? I mean, it's not too late, is it? I mean, or is it now? It says that it's being used. That's fine. Let's go ahead and try it now. I think that it'll continue to run the identity server in the back. Well, it changed directions, man. It changed directions at the last minute. Did you board up everything? Okay, so I gotta push this server out, it looks like, because it doesn't seem to want to let me run both. Let me try again. Yeah, but we all knew it could. Yeah, they are. Are you all? If you guys want to try to get the hell out, we're in Georgia. You can stay here. It's something to think about, man. So it looks like that's working. Let me try it. If I grab my providers, it gives me an okay. So that means that it is successfully getting a token. So if I look down here at my web API under my Ali chat provider and I'm looking at get and I'm doing my get, not that one, not that one, data access layer Ali services, that's down here under resources, it's under my modules called Ali chat, data access layer services. When you are getting a provider or providers, but that's not happening in client services. So client services Ali chat are calling my get provider and get providers here, and these are both doing my gets, and my get should be getting my token right here. We have no chance to leave. We can't. It'll be gridlock. Is there any way you can look on Google and see if there's any roads out? Dude, my dad's in the same boat, I think. I don't even think he boarded up the windows. I gotta call him. He's an idiot. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. Let me see if this is working real quick. So it's getting things from my web API. Oh, but it's not from my providers up here. We need to... When client says his services is hitting, that's when it needs to pass in the token. Let's try running the MVC. Well, they're pretty close, my dad and John. John, we're coming out there in October if you want to meet. Yeah, that's pretty close. So this is saying that it needs system runtime, and this happens from time to time. So let me adjust this. It's in my web config for MVC. We want to clear out the I don't see it. Hold on. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Okay. That should resolve it. Let's try it again. Well, it's hard probably to tell. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how all that works. Let's go ahead and add in the resource server. Remember, this one doesn't have a token at the moment, so I don't know if I necessarily like that. This web, well, it'll be all right. So it says that it's not working because it can't find the identity server, so let's get that running. And then also now we should be able to run our MVC. Okay, so we are logged in. We can check out providers, and it says it can't find BLL auth. But I thought I took out providers BLL auth. Over here, it looks like I can still try this. And it's successful. So it says that under my MVC for providers, oh no, it's in my, I'm sorry, app start under my bootstrapper. Don't you need these? Because you are using an application user manager, aren't you? No, you're using tokens. Okay. But in my providers, it still said that you were trying to construct a BLL auth in here somewhere, right? It's not. So let me try this. Damn, lots of traffic. Yeah, you don't want to be in your car, John's right. But I remove this. Client service is a constructor. Here it is. And if we look here at the base, there's no BLL auth there. Great. Oh my God, it sounds crazy out there. All right, let's try it again. Is that in the same area? Where's Everglades? Okay, let's check it. Ali chat providers. It tells me that my base URL is null here. Here. So that means that here under providers, when you're getting this resource URL, this is pulling from your configuration resource base endpoint. Let me check to see where that's pointing. That's why. Now we should be good. Let me run it again. Below Tampa on the coast. Let it load. Yeah, I've been in one hurricane in Rhode Island, and everything kind of came down. Our token response here, did we receive one? We did not, because the token server is not running. So let's try to get the token server running. And then we'll try it again. Token response, not found. But you currently have your authorization turned off, so it doesn't matter, right? But it still didn't work, and it wants 3005 in secret, and this is the web API. Duh. Let's try it again. I think some of the best places to be is going to be like Disney World. I'd say it would be not in that coast. They're rated for these Category 5 hurricanes, and some has written articles are being fortified and people get extra pan stuff. Okay, and then we'll also need to get this identity server running. And then we look at the providers. We get our token, invalid scope. So now if I look back over here and I look at my clients, We see that 3005 is the web API. And if I look at the scopes, which is ID 6, oh, we have it say it called MVC Web API. That's totally screwy. Scope claims. So let's go back to scopes. That's at 11. That's fine. So I should be able to come in here and just modify this, I think, right? And change this to be PHS Web API. I wonder if we try it again if it'll work. Let's try restarting everything. And I want to go adjust that seed in the identity server. So that it's actually going to be 3005 Pixel Horror Studios Web API secret, and this is called my PHS Web API. Over here on my base services, the ones that we are requesting is my secret 3005 PHS Web API. Looks good. Oh my God. I see that picture. That's the identity server, and let's get the start. Didn't the scope have an underscore? I thought it did. PHS underscore web API. PHS underscore web API. PHS underscore web API. Invalid scope. It does, but did you include it on the identity server? Well, I think it wants an ID token still. It's right here. So if I came back in here, I think I can just delete it. Oh, but you added a scope too, right? PHS MVC, PHS MVC, PHS Web API. So then if I came back into this and I went to the clients and I deleted the let's close all this. I want to delete the 3005 and then we will rerun my seed. If I looked back over here at my base in my client services, which is in core, I can see that I can request these things in different types. So this is going to be a get client token client credentials async. So that was the client configuration. I think I did both. Let me just double check. Client configuration and then scope configuration. Now we'll run it. And then we'll run the MVC on top. All right, I think I got it. Oh, no, it worked. And then we'll take a look at providers. What, it never... It doesn't care about getting the token now? You can get... Oh, so strange. Let me try just the MVC. So down here under my get providers, you also have these get tokens here. I think these can go away. So it must be running off of cache. Looks like my BLL auth can go away. And that probably means that this unloads. And then finally, okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and try it again. Let's try it again. Let's set this MVC as our startup project because I am using it a lot. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take this over to a new window. We're going to do a login. We'll come in here as a admin right now. We're going to come over and look at providers. Here's our get. Fires, we get our base URL. We get our token response, which says we got an access token. And so that means that now over here in my MVC or my web API, under my controllers for providers, we want to put this thing to be a and I just do authorize because I don't necessarily want to go into the manager and everything with that. So I just wonder if I can just do this. Let's try it. Ta-da, says Pella. How are you doing there, Pella? Welcome to the channel. The Reflex Incognito window. What do you mean, the Reflex Incognito window? Oh, I get it, because I ran that in incognito. How are you guys doing, man? Gotta love when we get that access token. Come over here and check out my providers. We hit it, and that's good. And now if I came over and I just looked at the web API straight, which was localhost 38385, whatever, swagger, and we look at providers and we try to hit it, it should fail. Maybe I need to put it on everything, because it didn't seem to take. But it could be because I need to use that other resource, because I think here in startup, well, you're using the bearer tokens for authorization, but you're not setting one here. It's not even asking me to. So let's go ahead and run this again. I don't think it took. I've been here all the time, just been quiet. Ah, sorry. Yeah, it's been kind of an interesting one as we're hooking all this stuff up to identity today. And now when I look at providers, it should tell me that it is forbidden without this token. 401, authorization has been denied. And now if I run the MVC, fella, we're gonna play a game here in about a half an hour of Fortnite, if you're interested. My wife and I. And now we can come over and check out providers. And it logs us on. So that's perfect. Now we can create a new provider here. So the first one that we want is called Twitch. And our code for this will be 100. Okay, the next thing that we wanted to do was in Twitch, we wanted to register a new Twitch account. So when I do this, this one is going to be just anybody who can potentially be in the system. So we could do like this one. I believe what this is doing right now is it's going out and verifying on the internet that this user exists. Sure, but I'm a lobby. I'm on level 20. She's level 23, I think. So the problem is that I believe right here what it's doing is in this controller when I'm doing my Twitch controller and I'm creating my user Twitch. This, I believe, is using it. So this is hitting my web API, which is then in my data access layer services, it's going to check to make sure that this is correct. So I need to make sure then that when this is starting, that this is in fact getting the correct Twitch credentials, which is being created when I start this app. So that's here under app start under my Unity configuration. Here's your Twitch credentials. And this needs to be corrected. So this one should be well, let me think. When you log into the site, now you're going to be using your Twitch credentials. Or are we going to be needing to use my websites? We probably want to use my websites, right? In which case this OAuth key doesn't change, except for when it does. Okay. So this OAuth key, you need to get this from, well, there's a couple of ways to get the OAuth key. We could actually just kind of grab it. If I look at the Twitch API for a second, and we look at the scopes, oh, pardon me. Where's authorization? Scopes. Come on, where are they? Here we go. We want to get my check whether a user is subscribed to your channel, trigger commercials, write, add posts, add reactions, view a channel feed. Log into chat to send messages, so we definitely need this one. Manage a user's communities, OpenID. I don't care about that one. Do I? Because I think when I look back up here at my API, oh, I want to look at TwitchLib. And when I look at their API, what scopes do I need? Yeah, I got all this. I got all this. I think I'm already good to go on this, actually. So I should be able to get my token right here, right? So there's something in here that I already created in my, was it my MVC? Yeah, called Auth and Auth callback. So when you hit this, you're actually getting a token here. So let's move these two. Into my web API, right? So down here under Web API, we're going to make a new controller here, and we're going to call it a token controller. And we're going to call this a new Web API, and we'll call this a, we'll do an MVC, and we'll do a Twitch token controller. Did it freeze? Does it not remember how to scaffold? Okay, we need to add onto my Web API resource these three. The global needs some changes. You need to add these. You need to define an application start, and then you need to have these. Okay. So here, what this is telling me is that I need to do this index. And this, I believe you changed this. This is for a endpoint, for a app, for a, but you want to get it for your authorization. So this is going to be your Twitch token. So this is going to be an authorization token, right? Let me look at my dashboard real quick. What the heck? And I look at this one. This is the one we want. So my callback is going to be AliChat/Twitch sign in. Now let me make sure that my callback is okay. And so now right here we need to have another view. We're going to call this an alley chat, right? So we're going to say that this one is actually called a Twitch token. And then below it, we're going to add this. And we can just remove all of this stuff for now, as well as this, and then as well as this. You can add in the async. We can come in and delete some of these. And we can add in this stuff. We need to make sure that we have in here so here you're going to be returning and receiving this sign in Twitch. And now this one is going to be a Twitch dash sign in. You're going to return the code that you receive here. Then you're going to hit the authorization point to get the token, which is below it. This is when you are requesting your token, right? Oh no, this is the next piece. And then you're going to be getting the token, which is another post. You pass in your credentials here. So this is a configuration manager dot app settings of my type Twitch client secret. Twitch client ID. Then you want to go ahead and hit your callback here, which was called alley chat Twitch sign in, right? Sign in Twitch or something like that, right? Twitch sign in. And then you're going to get your token response. Add your claims if you have any. And then we're signing in. So I don't even necessarily want this whole function. I don't think I care about this one right now. And I don't care about user claims. I don't care about this temp state, and I probably don't care about parse JWT. And here now this thing, this get token, should be returning a token view model or a token response or something like that. like that. Close this one out. And then here you want to get your token, and you're going to say var token. And now here you'll return your view. So it's going to give us some guff because we need to add in some of these views. The first one is this Twitch token view, right? Ali Chat here has something called a we want to put all this stuff into a folder called Web API. Let's make a new folder in here and call it Ali Chat. Add this one in here. And then this one comes out here because this is just a web API. And we probably want to rewrite this, right? You go ahead and get rid of this. We're going to say that this is an Ali Chat controller with views. Paste all of this stuff in here. Okay. Because now down here, oh, it didn't make my views, did it? So here I want to add in a new view. And we have one called Twitch token with nothing. And then we have another one called sign in, I think, right? Twitch sign in. We have another one here called get token. Okay. Okay, now what you want to do is you need to make sure that you have your correct client ID and secret. So let me put those in, and then we can give this a try. And this is called sign in Twitch. Twitch sign in. Okay, client ID and secret. Just a second. Okay. So now here, that's all going to be fine in just a second, but what I wanted to check was your index here of your auth controller. This is coming from my MVC, don't worry about that. Was that this one, where you're getting your Twitch credential, you need to get your it might just be easier to store it because I don't really want to necessarily have to create it each time for the account, which is going to be hitting the API nonstop. It needs to be requesting that token to the root with every API call when it's used for authorization, but when it actually hits the API, it doesn't matter. I think it's okay just to have it like this. So let me go get this here. We're going to do a Auth key Twitch. Let me first log out of Twitch. Now let me log in. All right, I just want to get my OAuth ticket. Got it. Let me put this in. It's called OAuth key. Looks good. And now we should be good. So let me come over here and we're going to run the web API and then also the resource. Okay, here's the web API. If we try to hit it, it's going to say unauthorized. It says resolution of the dependency. The past access token was not valid. Oh, I know why. Let's try it again. Authorization has been denied. Okay, and so now when I actually launch the MVC, here, you can see that I'm going to go to my providers. Oh, it might not be working. No, it did. And now I can do a Twitch. I should be able to create one for me. Now it's not. So when I'm looking at PHS Web API and I look down here at where it's creating my user, which is actually down in Alley Chat called Alley Chat module, and it's inside of my data access layer called services for Alley Chat. So it looks like it's never getting here. Which means that here, where I'm calling it, here's your create. Client services get user Twitch. I'm going to try to get this response from my resource server URL, AlleyChat Twitch user ID or username. And if we look at the Swagger, ID or username is the key. And user comes back with a bad request. So if I look at Alley Chat and I look at Alley Chat Twitch user and I look at post, you're posting Twitch username. But you're doing get Twitch user. So if it is null, then you want to create a new one. No swag. What do you mean no swag? Okay, so this is saying that it is getting a bad request. So this wants to be a if user dot response code does not equal an integer of my HTTP status code dot okay, then you want to create it here. So let's try that. And now what we want to do is look at Alley Chat, and we can come over to Twitch, assuming that we're going to be able to hit the resource server. We are. We hit it. We get a user. It is not a response code. We try to create the user. User says okay, and it got my Twitch ID successfully. So if user success code is, then this is where it would do the create. So there we are. This one is a response, right? Right? And here you're going to do a viewBag.response error message. user could not be registered. But the difference here is that once you do this create here, and you're getting this Twitch user, and you're saying, okay, what you want to do is you want to redirect them right now, right? And where are you redirecting them was over to your Auth index. So over here in Auth index, it's going to be requesting your chat login, and it should try to authorize us. Your redirect URL is actually the other one that you were working with, and that's in your callback controller, right? Oops, everything is set to be that one. So let's come down to the web API where you also added this. And this is your callback. And you said this was not that. You said just a second. Privyet, Metershem. How are you doing today? It's good to see you. Let me look at my dashboard for my apps. And I look here at my Twitch sign-in. Let's go ahead and put this where it belongs here, here, and up here in the auth. Let's run it. Okay. Negative, not at the moment, Lance Maker. It may be at one day, but at the moment it's not. Just up here. But all of the original videos are up on YouTube. Yeah, I've been doing it a little bit. Some of the pieces are up on my GitHub, so you can check out LiverDev Trying up on the GitHub and check those out. And then also where all the videos are up on YouTube, if you want to go back and start at the beginning. Bring it on into the resource server. We do a create Ali chat. It went ahead and it brought me over to create. It's going to check to see, and then it's going to redirect me. It says it can't find Ali chat auth. Ah. Because this needs to have a new area. So we want to do a redirect to action, but remove area. New area equals let's try it again. And now we come over and we go to Twitch. Give it a second to connect. We'll do a create new. We'll do a Ali chat. And then it should redirect me back. And it did. And it should be redirecting me to Twitch sign-in under my Auth. Underneath my Auth callback. It's called Auth callback. So let's fix that. That's saved. That looks right. That looks right. Let's try it again. You know what's interesting though is when I'm clicking on providers and I click on create, right now it's redirecting me over to create provider A index. Here. It takes me to this provider new view model, but this is actually where I think we want to do my redirect. Right here. Try it again. So now when I come over here to Alley Chat and I go to Twitch and I look at create, it didn't redirect me, did it? But it should now. I wonder why it didn't do that. Because you're in the wrong one. Yeah, whatever. It'll do it here. It should just redirect me over and ask me to auth. It did return back the auth callback. It gets my code and my state. Then it's going to get my token. And it doesn't have the correct credentials here yet. So we need to put in my... You changed this on this one down here, didn't you? Under your Alley Chat controller. Right here. Like that, and then like this. Try it again. Okay, we come over to Twitch. We do a create new. We do a username called AliChat. And it should redirect me out to Twitch. It's redirected me back with a token. It returns a code. Oh, it did not return a code. Okay, let me check to see what you're calling these things. Just a second. Try it again. Yeah, it should work right here. And that'll be it. And then we're successfully registering our Twitch accounts. Once it works here, create a new one. AliChat. It redirects me. It grabs my code, which I did not get again. One more try. Would help if you put the right name for them. Try it again. Hey there, Sound of Gaming. Great to see you again. How are you doing today? Okay, Twitch, create new, AliChat, redirect, redirect mismatch parameter plus redirect URL does not match the registered URI. Just a moment then. http://localhost 5611 auth callback. Moment. When you look back over here at your credentials, these client and secret, which one are these for? Twitch works okay with it. It's been working pretty good. What I wanted to do was look at the one, this one. Twitch client ID, Twitch client secret. Twitch client ID, Twitch client secret. And then in my auth, Twitch client ID. Ah. Configuration manager dot app settings Twitch client ID. Just 1 second. Here we go. Give it a try. I had to do that. You had to do the local loopback. See what I did though? I just put it into the wrong spot. I got my code. Guess we don't want this. I thought we took this out. Let's try it one more time. This time I have to check my resource off screen, and we should have our token. Create a new one. We're calling this Alley Chat. It redirects. We get our code. We get our response. Let me check this off screen. And I have my access token. So now that I have that, what I can actually do is I can come all the way back up here to Alley Chat and add this in my app config as my OAuth key. Since we already had that set up, if I look at program and I come all the way down here, I'm logging in as me. Where's your BLL auth? Don't you have a BLL auth somewhere in here? Nope. So we should just be able to run it. It is unhappy with me because it never got to get bot accounts. What is the client ID used for in here? I don't think it is. Is this the one that you're trying to log in as? I believe so. Because you got the access token for... Oh, no, you didn't. It's this one. Isn't it? Huh. Well, let's just do it right then. Let's just do it correctly. I'm going to do one final run. We're going to run the MVC. We're going to delete liver dev try, and we're going to re-add him. We'll get his access token, then we'll dump it in here. We'll see it work. And then the redirect needs to go back and redirect me back to creating the user like it did before. So here, Ali Chat, Twitch. Delete. So an easier way to do that would be to go to here. Go to here and here. Go to Twitch users. Go to edit. Remove this guy. We go to it, it's going to redirect me, it's going to bring me in. I'm going to get an access token right here. I have successfully received one. I copy that into my chat app, and my app config. Oh, I see why too, because I copied something that includes the phrase access token. That's why that didn't work. And now when I run the chat app, you can see that we get our token, and then since we have the chat scope, I do not see it taking, which is very interesting. Checking one thing. I mean, there's no way that that's not working. Does it take a minute for these things to register? Or is it under the other account? I'm using XAMPP for Live EDU. XMPP, I think. XMPP. It's a protocol for sending messages, similar to like how Auth is one for. Let's just try this. I'm so interested why it didn't take. I mean, it is requesting the chat scope, right? Oh, there it is. And now you can see it pop into the channel. And that's all there is to it. So that's one of our main functions of this, which has been completed. And now we're going to have to kind of scale everything out. So thanks for staying with me today, guys. We will be back, not tomorrow, but on Monday in the morning. We'll be starting at usually around 6. Yeah, if you have any questions, please put them into the channel. Make sure you check us out, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. All of the older videos are up on YouTube, and the link to that is right here. And until next time, guys, have a good evening.